Attacked the government girls' comprehensive senior secondary school in Kebbi State, killing the vice principal Malam Hassan Yakubu Makuku and abducting several students. Now the attack has left the community in shock, with residents praying for the safe return of the kidnapped students. Security agencies have not yet issued a formal statement, but locals are urging authorities to intervene and prevent further violence in schools. Joining us in the studio for this conversation is security consultant and public affairs analyst, High Chief Darlington Umoro. Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us. Like I said earlier on, we're starting the show on a very solemn note because it's sad. You know, yesterday when I saw the news that 25 girls have been taken away and then the vice principal was killed. At the end of the day, this is not the first time this is happening in Kebbi. We know that in June 2021, something of such happened. And this is just making us relive the moments of what happened with the Chibok girls. It's also coming at a time that America is saying that they want to come, into our country because of insecurity. And now seeing this happen, another question is, why is it our girls? Oftentimes we mostly see that it's the girls, Chibok, it was the girls, now it's the girls. 25 girls have been taken from their homes. Parents are in agony. Mr. Umoro.
It's a very sad one for me. I heard somebody talking about having a daughter, and when things happen, particularly to the vulnerable, you begin to wonder. But again, the terrorists don't think the way we do, because in the first instance, as at the time they are carrying out those criminal activities, the question you want to ask is, were they in their right senses? Were they under influence of any substance? Why the girls? Somebody asked. But it's not just been the girls. We've had situations where even boys were taken. Chibok 2014, we all cried out. I did. It became a major task for me. And up until now, it got to a point where even when rescue came, some of the girls said they were no longer interested in returning. Yeah. Apparently, they had gotten used to the system, and some of them had been brainwashed. They were all married out, and then if you ask why girls. So if you take the instance of what happened to the Chibok girls, even some of them that were rescued came back with children. So is it that these terrorists need wives in the forest? Is it that these terrorists need people to ease tension, their tension in the forest? Is it that they are soft targets that will attract more money for them? These are questions that demand answers. But the most practical and empirical one that you could relate with at the moment, using the case of the Chibok girls as an instance, is that sometimes these criminals, they need women around them. The Chibok girls were all married out, 2, 3, in that number, 1. It depends on the ranking of the terrorist on Sambisa Forest. It is sad for me. The most challenging to me is that I find it awkward that I've explained it here severally, discussing the different kinds of conflict we have in the north and in Nigeria. And territories, are owned or are taken over by some of these terrorist groups. Somebody said he or she does not want to refer to them as bandits. Yes, the courts have since declared them terrorists. But for the purposes of clarity, when we want to differentiate them from core terrorism, that's when sometimes we refer to them as bandits. Because theirs is purely criminal business activity. Unlike the core terrorist groups that are just meant to kill or maim.
Okay.
The bandits are meant to kidnap ask for ransom, get ransom, release sometimes, and some other times take the lives of their abductees. You know, but it is sad for me that the Northwest has been the home of banditry. You have governors in the 6 states, six or seven, Kebbi, Sokoto, Zamfara, Katsina, Kaduna, and then Kano. These are the states that are under the Northwest. Now, you have 6 governors who get allocation every month. How have they been able to complement the central security arrangement beyond getting hunters and vigilantes? Now, the schools have been targets where these bandits get more people at a time. If you remember the Dapchi issue, the Chibok issue, at the time they led about 300 and something students away from a particular school.
Yes. Okay.
Sorry. Finally, I had suggested and advised that if you know that these schools and children have become vulnerable, they even got to universities in Zamfara. What have the state governors done to provide technology that will provide information, even if it's AI, artificial information, when these people come, so that there will be quick rescue? Somebody said they were led away successfully. And that has been the issue. So are we saying that we must always be reactive
and proactive?
And that the governors cannot deploy resources from the allocation they receive as per providing gadgets that will give information when we have crises at these vulnerable places?
It is really sad, and I can feel the way you are feeling talking about these things, and it is, I must assure you that it's the same feeling everybody here has. You know, what really bothers me is that the modus of this recent one is the same script with the Chibok girls. They came in their numbers, attacked a soft target. That's why I insist they are terrorists. You know, attacked a very, very soft target. Took these girls. The only person that had the courage to try to stop them. And how do you stop these men with bare hands? He was shot, you know. And they took 25 girls away successfully. What does that tell you as a security expert? Does it say some high-ups are culpable?
You need to answer that question.
It's a strong one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, let's speak to the truth, and I'll give you instances. When they got there, they went straight to the abode of the vice president. They wanted him to lead them.
The vice principal.
The vice principal, sorry, forgive me. The vice principal of the school, to lead them to where the girls were, the hostel. And I think it was at that point, because I listened to the wife of the late vice principal. And when they shot him, they took the daughter. It was the daughter who now led them into the school where those girls were. And that's for that. The high-ups. If you recall, in Niger State, when we had kidnap of primary school children, they were taken to the forest in Niger State. And then security was mobilized from Abuja to support what was on ground in Niger State for the rescue. Gumi intervened and, like, was talking with the the man who had the children in his possession. You know what the man told him? He said, I'm aware of all the plans you have on your table. I know the number of security men that have been drafted from Abuja to Niger State. But if they make attempt at him, for each time he will be killing a child. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think
and he said,
it does.
And he said also, Gumina was talking from his discussion with that man, that criminal. He said, the man those who gave me this job are in your midst, and they are feeding me with information.
So, Mr. Mo,
so I've answered your question.
Basically, it means that some of these big politicians, basically that's what you're saying, that some of these big politicians...
I never mentioned big politicians.
No, but that's what you said. The man said they are dismissed.
I have given you...
He has just told us what a bandit said.
I have given you a scenario and an instance. Gumi is alive. And at that instance, the governor then of Niger State traveled out of the country and said he was going to look for help outside the country. Whether you call them any name, what I know is what I have told you. You see, up until the courts of jurisdiction is able to give us the names of Mr. A and Mr. B, I don't like assumptions. I will give you the facts that are empirical.
You've given one. Yeah. Just a moment. You've given one already. Gumi is still alive. He's working freely. Don't you think the federal government at this time needs to question him and ensure that we get a solution to some of these challenges that we're having at the moment?
Question him. When you say question him, sometimes I've had people saying, why should Gumi be walking freely on the streets? Terrorists all over the world, they have people they listen to. What is the origin? Some of you talk about America coming. America coming to Nigeria. Yes, America should come. Yes.
Are you supporting that?
Are you in support of that?
No, he's still
Let's
talking.
trace the history and the antecedents of terrorism in the world. How did it begin? Middle East. How did it begin? How did the Osamas of this world turn against America? Who employed them initially? Who trained them? What were they used for? You see, in security and in small arms and light weapons, I have often said that the worst thing you can do is to arm somebody to fight another person. Because someday, those same small arms or light weapons, you will not be able to recover them from him. And he could turn against you. Yes. We saw that in the case of Osama and the rest of them in the Middle East against America, eventually.
So back to my question on Gumi.
And your question, and I said, what?
I know how
it's deep, right? It's deep, and at times it's a little bit difficult to say. You know what you should say, but it's not the forum to say those things.
Yeah, but it's a security
yes, I understand.
And at the end of the day,
we should be able to
at the end of the day, we also need answers. We cannot keep waking up one morning and we're seeing this. It's been happening habitually.
I agree with you too.
So we definitely need answers. And we've been saying it all the time that if we know
when you say it's walking freely in the streets, are you saying that you also do not need people that those bastards will listen to? Are you saying that those girls have been taken away? Can you walk up to them to talk with them? Are you saying...
Language, please.
Sorry. Are you saying that now that those girls have been taken away, let's use the kinetic approach alone. So where is the place of the non-kinetic approach? If you recall, when we had the kidnap from the train on the Abuja-Kaduna corridor,
Exactly.
there were cries. People, individuals, were paying ransom to get their people out. What about those who could not? A certain CDS, Irabo, what did he do to get out those people? Did he tell you those he used? He constituted a committee. And that committee did what? They reached out to them. And when they reached out to these bandits, the last person was released. Situations like this, conflicts are not only resolved with the use of kinetic approaches. You need the non-kinetic approach sometimes. Would we, at a point in time when the Dapchi children were taken, I gave a solution on TVC, and exactly that was used, and all the children were rescued. Sometimes we misplace rescue, release, or when you pay ransom and then they are given back to you. All of these concepts. You see, whether we like it or not, it is not at all times we need or you need to use the kinetic approach. You also need the non-kinetic approach. And if you have to use the non-kinetic approach, government can work with some of these persons and police them very well. When I say police them very well. In every situation, in every crisis, in most times, even the World War, you still need people who will sit down on a round table and judge.
So, in other words, Gumi's moving around freely is not...
I don't know what you mean freely.
As
Gumi himself, hang on, sir.
Yes, sir.
As Gumi himself been named as a part, a constituent of the terrorist group?
No.
Has he been fingered? Has any court of law sentenced him?
Oftentimes, people also say that when we have conversations with when we have conversations with these bandits, you kind of give them the power over us, having conversations, having dialogue with them. That has been a big conversation as well.
And those who have done that, Nasiru El-Rufai did that, and in his tenure, what happened in Kaduna? What is happening in Kaduna today? Would you relate the two? People would say, when they would talk from either from the pains in their hearts or from sentiments. Are you aware that at a point in time, the Zamfara state governor invited the bandits and had to give them, what do you call it again? Some measure of, say, okay, drop your arms. What is it called?
Amnesty.
Amnesty. Okay. Are you aware that in Katsina State, that also happened? You're talking about Gumi.
We saw the backlash.
You are talking about Gumi alone. Did you see what happened when these bandits, terrorists, came for the non-kinetic discussion in Katsina State? Did you see it? Did you see how they came?
Okay,
Did you see the brandishing of equipment? Did you see the insult they gave to our military by donning camouflage? Some of this camouflage, where do they get them from?
Let's turn our attention to something a bit critical at this time. Looking at the Safe School Initiative. When you look at this particular attack, a reporter gave the report that the students were taken away via a narrow road beside the school. So at what point can we ensure that our schools are safe for our children to attend? Especially in the Northwest, where we have the 7 governors.
Where the governors will be involved and be ready to commit their resources. I said that at the beginning. I answered this question at the beginning. It's a rampant thing in the Northwest that these kidnappers will go to schools. And I have suggested a long time ago that you do not necessarily need to have key security men there. What you need is to have technology that will provide information to control rooms. And you have maybe 1 or 2 plainclothes security agents that will also relate with, I don't know if you've been to Kebbi State. These are states that share borders with, you know about the Lukarawa. And then you see sometimes some of these problems are even caused by the people. Go check out the history or the relationship between the Lukarawa group and the people of Kebbi State at the initial stage.
Well, you know, we saw Governor Idris come out. You know, he said that he had gone to visit the parents of the children that were adopted and all of that. But at the end of the day, is that all we're asking for? You know, talk is cheap, Mr. Moro. We keep hearing things like that. When things like this happen, oh, we are trying to bring them back, we're doing this, we're doing that. But this doesn't put us on a good light in the
proactiveness. I talked about being proactive and not being reactive, reactionary. Yeah. For every time, the governors will want us as politicians to come out to talk to so they are concerned. You are not concerned. Yeah. Show me your concern by being proactive. Deploy resources.
If the government, in this instance, succeeds in rescuing those girls today, how will it affect the image of Nigeria?
Battered image. We're talking about Nigeria being in the eye, not just Nigeria, well, most countries on the Sahel, but Nigeria mainly being in the eyes of the world. You rescue the children today. Would that stop that from repeating again? If you have not taken the right decisions to protect those other children in the school, would you shut down schools?
Of course not, because the children have to go to school. Every girl child deserves to go to school.
Would you shut down schools? Yeah. You will not shut down schools, because when you talk about education, the North is suffered so much. Parents are scared sending their children to schools now up north, except you have a relation or you can send them down. And most of these schools are boarding schools.
Yes.
And then this is where they know that these children would be. And then they quietly go there, pick these children up, and then walk away and wait for you to come negotiate and pay the ransom.
This is a big challenge to our new service chiefs. What do you think they should be doing at the moment to ensure that these girls are back?
Being professional. What they should be doing at this time is, I don't think we need so much of the kinetic approach. Let me repeat this. Now, let me give you a scenario. These girls have been taken, 25 of them. Sometimes these terrorists are like nomads. They don't leave them in one position. At other times, particularly in this early stage, the kind of thing you could find is they'll be moving them from one point to another. It is not difficult for our military to locate where they are. But what is difficult in terms of intel, what is difficult is taking out those terrorists and then rescuing the girls. Now, what the terrorists will be doing at such times, God forbid, they'll want to use those children as shields.
So how can we avoid collateral damage?
Now, if you're patient, I'll be able to summarize. Now, if you know all of this, the military is aware that invading, when you invade, they will just bring out these guys and position these guys, and while they are firing, and the girls will be dropping. That's not what you want. Now, I have said that some of these things, they are not meant to be discussed on television, because both the military and the terrorists are watching. Now, at this point, the military are taking their time. They are carrying out intel, monitoring them. But what they need to do first at this point in time is, if they have found the location, they deploy the use of unmanned aerial vehicles to use as surveillance. Now, ensure that you create a patrol, area patrol, that would circle them, limit them to that position where they will not be moving away from. Your time is up.
Your time is up.
Our time is up. You know, whenever I have you on the show, Mr. Darlington, we can go on and on about it. But thank you for joining us for this very worrisome conversation. Like I always say, Nigerians are really, really worried. Thank you so much, Mr. Darlington. Thank you.
My pleasure being here once again, and time not being our friend.
I'm sure we'll definitely have you again for this very important conversation. At the end of the day, we need these girls back on behalf of their mothers that are grieving. We do not want this to be like another Chibok story. We need them back with their families. Well, still ahead of TV. Amen.
They'll bring them back.
Amen.
But how quickly?
Well, still ahead on TVC Breakfast. After the break, we will discuss how democracy has shaped Africa's political landscape and what the future holds for governance across the continent. Don't go anywhere.